Okay, so this lecture will cover two chapters, chapters 5 and 6. Why we are covering these two chapters? Because they are very similar to each other. In the old edition of the book, they were more similar, like the titles were also very much the same. But in the new edition of the book, the titles are slightly different, but you will see even today, like chapter 5 is about introduction to traffic stream characteristics, and when we go to chapter 6 is about volume and flow characteristics. So you will see that we will start volume and flow in this chapter, chapter 5. Even today we will start with volume and flow. So that's why
Doctor, we cannot hear you. You're muted.
okay. So I was on the first slide. You know, this is happening in many classes. I don't know. I need to restrict the permissions or something, but people keep on muting me. And in the previous lecture, somebody was changing slides. I don't know how. Anyways, so I was telling about traffic stream. So traffic stream is made up of individual drivers and vehicles. So I was calling it one unit of traffic is equal to a driver inside a vehicle. And later on in future, this definition may change only to have vehicles, as we may have autonomous vehicles, all vehicles as autonomous on the road. For the time being, it's vehicles with drivers which interact with each other and the physical element of the road and the general environment. Now, what do we mean by what do we mean by interaction? Interaction means conveying and receiving messages, right? Communicating. So drivers and vehicles communicate with each other through lights and horns and through their movement. Okay, and they also communicate with the road elements. What are the road elements? The lanes, shoulder, median, sidewalks. These are the road elements. Intersections, traffic lights. So you communicate with them, right? They communicate with you and you communicate back. Okay, like in terms of your movement. As a driver, obviously you don't have to open your window and shout to the signal, shout to the traffic light. Although we feel like we should do it sometimes, but we shouldn't. It doesn't bother them. Okay, so you communicate through your movement. As drivers and vehicles, you communicate through your movement. Okay, and you also interact with the general environment. General environment meaning the trees, the pedestrians, street lights. Okay, so they are providing you some information and you are using that information. So this is also a form of an interaction. Now traffic streams do not behave in the same manner ever. Okay, they never behave in the same manner. Okay, so if you take, for example, I ask you to collect traffic data for your term project. So you will collect traffic data right now for 15 minutes. Let's say when you start in some later stage of your project, you go again at the same location at the same time on the same day. And by that, I don't mean you go back in time on a time machine. I mean the time and day of the week. Okay. And you measure the same things, the flow and speed. You will not find them to be the same. Okay. Flow, you will not have the same speed. Okay. Why? Because of variations in individual vehicles and variation in driver behavior. Every vehicle is different from the other vehicle. Okay. Even the vehicle of the same company, of the same model, of the same year, can be different from other vehicles. Okay. Vehicles which are different by companies and model and year, obviously you understand that. Vehicle from the same model and year can also be different from the same company. Okay, like in case of phones, you know, you have like an iPhone 7 and 7s. Okay, and similarly they had an iPhone X and XS, something like this. Okay, so even for the same model and the same year, the company may give you different features. Okay, so like you will see, you know, vehicles which have different headlights, although they are the same model and everything is same, but the headlights are different. So they can be different by means of their manufacturing, because they are different from the company or from the model, from the year, in terms of technology, in terms of specifications, or they can be different by means of their operation. You know, some vehicles have like smaller faults, minor faults, and we still drive with them. Okay, you don't go to the mechanic every day and say, okay, this part is doing this part is doing this. Okay, you will spend like 1,000 BD in a month if you do this. So we handle the vehicle as we want, and then we get used to it, and there are some minor faults or there are some changes, and we keep on using them. So they are different from any vehicle which, or from the vehicle which you had when you purchased it. Okay, because of your way of handling, or there are some, you know, some other drivers who like to modify the vehicle as per their own requirement and as per their own choice. Okay, so you will have a vehicle which is of the same model, same make, but the driver has modified it so much that you cannot even recognize it. Okay, so vehicles can be different. Okay, because of manufacturing, because of the way of operation, and because of the drivers who need some changes in them. Drivers are also different. We discussed them in the previous chapter as well, chapter 3. They are different in terms of their personality and psychology. I told you, each driver has its own educational background, income, and experience, and you know, experience in terms of number of years, experience in terms of different incidents as well, events as well. A driver which has been fined 2 or 3 times for over speeding, his behavior may be different as compared to the driver who has not been fined at all. Okay, a driver who has had an experience of accident, a severe accident, may be different than a driver who has an accident of minor injury. Okay, so drivers are different, and drivers keep changing their behavior with respect to time, with respect to place, with respect to their mode, with respect to how many people are driving with them, with respect to what place they are going. Somebody going for shopping may behave differently, may drive differently than somebody going to office or coming back from office. Okay, so because of these things, traffic flow changes, and it cannot remain constant. Changes, you know, changes essentially there. Okay, there are 2 types of traffic facilities which are on the basis of type of traffic flow. Okay, so the classification which we were talking about in the last chapter or in the highway engineering course was on the basis of classification on the basis of function, but this is classification on the basis of traffic flow. So on the basis of traffic flow, highways can be divided into 2 categories. They are calling highways as traffic facilities. So traffic facilities mean highways and streets. Okay, So you can have uninterrupted flow facilities or you can have interrupted flow facilities. What are uninterrupted flow facilities? The facilities which do not have any fixed external interruption. What is a fixed external interruption? Like a traffic light. A traffic light is fixed, obviously. You fix it and you don't change it every day. And it is external. External means it is not part of the traffic itself. I told you. What is the traffic stream? Traffic stream is drivers and vehicles. So it is not part of drivers and vehicles. A traffic light is something external. You put it there. Okay. What is the opposite of that? What is the opposite of fixed and external interruption? An accident. So accident happens with the vehicle, right? Or accident involves a vehicle. So it is not external, first of all. It is part of traffic stream. It happened with a unit of traffic, vehicle. Secondly, it is not fixed. It's not like you pass from a point and you see an accident every time you pass from there. Okay, so it's not fixed, it's not external. So an accident is not considered, a highway which has an accident is not considered uninterrupted. It is still uninterrupted if it does not have a fixed external interruption. Okay, a traffic jam is again not fixed, not external. Traffic jam happens because of vehicles and it is not fixed as well. After a few hours, the traffic jam will release. Okay, so facilities which are uninterrupted flow facilities are also referred to as having full access control. Why? Because they do not have intersections. Okay, why do we provide intersections? Because intersections provide you access to the highway, entrance to the highway. If I want to enter the highway, I need an intersection. So a highway without intersection has full access control, meaning the full access to the highway is controlled, restricted. Okay, control means restricted. In this case, control means restricted. So obviously, you are not providing intersection, you are restricting the entry onto the highway. So the control is fully restricted or controlled. The highways which are purely uninterrupted are known as freeways. Okay, in the urban areas, they are especially called as freeways. In context of Bahrain, Sheikh Khalifa bin Salman Highway, Sheikh Isa bin Salman Highway. These are a couple of highways which I know to be, which you can consider as uninterrupted flow facilities or freeways. Other examples can be two-lane highways or multi-lane highways in rural or suburban areas. Okay, why? Because in rural or suburban areas, the population is less. Because there is no population, so you do not need to provide an access to the highway. You do not need to provide any intersection. So highways in rural and suburban areas automatically become uninterrupted flow facilities, because why do you provide intersection? If there's nobody to come on the highway, why do we need an intersection? Okay. So on uninterrupted flow facilities, the characteristics or the behavior of traffic stream is mainly dependent upon the interaction of vehicles with the road and the environment. So vehicles will keep on moving according to the design. Okay, this is another way of understanding it. So obviously, it doesn't mean that the vehicles will keep on moving. There will be no traffic jam. No, there will be traffic jam, but it will be when you reach the capacity of the road. The vehicles will only stop if they are forced to stop according to the design of the road. Obviously, the road is designed for 100 kilometers per hour. The vehicles cannot go more than that. Okay, so their speed will be restricted to the design speed. And similarly, the capacity will be restricted to the capacity which you have designed the road for. Okay, so the movement of vehicles depend upon the design of the road. Then we have interrupted flow facilities. Obviously, these are the facilities in which fixed external interactions are part of the design and operation of the road. So the road or the highway is designed with a fixed and external interruption. So obviously, you do not design the road for accident and traffic jams, right, or construction work. So like I gave the example, you design the road with a signal, you design the road with a roundabout. So these are fixed external interruptions because they are something outside the vehicles. Okay, or they do not involve the vehicles. So these interruptions, I already gave you the example of traffic lights and roundabout. Other interruptions can be stop and yield sign. Okay, yield means give way sign. Yield means a give way sign. The American terminology for give way sign is yield. Okay, You can have unsignalized at grade intersections. At grade means two roads intersecting at the same gradient, at the same level. A normal intersection, okay. So we have discussed this terminology in highway engineering course as well. So sometimes on local streets, the intersections are completely unsignalized and unsigned. Even you do not see any sign there. Okay. So even those intersections are, interruptions, because when you coming to that intersection, as a driver, you know that you need to slow down, or in some cases you need to stop as well. Although there is no sign or signal for you to do that, but you would do that to avoid any accident. You know there can be an accident. Okay, driveways are entrances from the parking areas. Okay, a garage or any other parking area. So it's a driveway. Okay, or you can have on-street parking, which is also called as curb parking. So on-street parking, which is on the side of the road, can also be considered as an interruption. Why? Because people will be going into the parking spaces, coming out of the parking spaces. They will be blocking your travel lane as well. Okay, so an on-street parking can also be considered as a interruption, a fixed external interruption, because they are not part of the stream which is on the road. And any land access operation or any land access point. Okay, so sometimes you have lands where construction work is going on, or the land is completely empty, but there is an entrance point given from that land. Okay, because people may be using it infrequently. Okay, so for example, there's a land area in front of Ramni Mall, and it is empty, and usually the policemen are there for patrolling or something, and the entry or exit to that area is very infrequent. Okay, maybe once or twice a day a vehicle may be coming in or going out, but it is still there. The point is still there, so it can still be considered as a point of interruption. Okay, so interruptions can be made up with signs and signals, okay, or roundabout, or they can be without signs and signals, but it is an area from which you are providing entry or exit, or entry to the highway, and because of the entry point, that drivers may be interrupted even though the traffic from the other side is not there. Okay. Traffic stream parameters, or you can also call them traffic stream characteristics, can be divided into two categories: macroscopic, MACRO, or microscopic, MICRO. So when you say something is macroscopic, that means you are considering that thing as a whole. And microscopic means something in which you are considering the individual units of an item. For example, I was just hearing the news, you may have heard it for some other countries, or if you are a non-Bahraini, it may have happened to in your country as well. Like they were saying in Karachi, it's a big city, it's larger than Bahrain. So they said we cannot block the whole city for COVID. So we will apply, or they have done it in the past as well. So we will apply micro or smart lockdown. So we will identify the area in which the COVID cases are, and we will only lock down that area or restrict that area. So macroscopic to consider the whole city, and microscopic will be to consider one part of the area or each unit of the area. In terms of traffic, macro means consider the entire traffic flow as one unit, one entity, and you find out the characteristics of the entire traffic flow, the whole traffic flow. Okay, the whole traffic stream. And micro would be what? To consider one unit of the traffic stream. Now, what is the unit of the traffic stream? Again, I have already said vehicles. Okay, so if you are considering a group of vehicles as they are moving, that is a macroscopic parameter. And if you are considering individual vehicle, that is a microscopic parameter. Okay, individual vehicle, or in some cases we need pair of vehicle. Pair means two. Okay, so the parameter in which for which you are recording one vehicle, the data from one vehicle or a pair of vehicle, you will call it a microscopic parameter, and the parameter in which you are recording the whole traffic stream, it will be called as a macroscopic parameter. Okay, then there are The list is given for macro and microscopic parameters, and we will discuss them. Just go through the names. So volume, rate of flow, speed and density are macroscopic, and speed of individual vehicles, headway and spacing are microscopic. We will discuss them, but just to highlight the difference between macro and micro, you can see speed is mentioned in both categories. But this one, speed, and this one is speed of individual vehicle. So again, micro, 1 unit. Okay, so you take a speed of 1 car, this is microscopic parameter. You take a speed of 50 cars and then do what? You will have 50 values, right? So each of these 50 values is microscopic. And then how do I get the combined value for all these 50 cars? You take an average, obviously. So average speed will be macroscopic and the speed of each vehicle will be microscopic. Let us start with the discussion on macroscopic parameter, and we will start with the most important one, which is volume and flow rate. Now volume, flow rate, by definition, they mean the same thing. There's a small change in their time of recording, okay, or time of observation. Volume means number of vehicles passing a point, lane or direction of the highway in unit time interval. Flow means, see, number of vehicles passing a point, lane or direction of the highway in, again, unit time interval. But you see, time interval here is what? A day or an hour. So volume is never taken for less than 1 hour. It is at least 1 hour, more than 1 hour, then you can convert it to per hour, or it can be to the whole day as well. So you will have volume per day. Flow is less than 1 hour. Again for unit time interval, but that time interval is less than 1 hour. Okay. So normally it can be per minute as well. We will do an example in these slides later on where volume or flow is calculated per minute. Okay, and with the modern instruments and technology we can do that. Okay, but normally it is for 15 minutes, but it can be per minute or whatever. So this is the only difference between volume and flow. Okay, so for your term project, like I said, you go to the highway for 15 minutes and you take volume, not volume. You count number of vehicles. We'll call it flow, not volume. We'll call it flow. Okay, if you be there for 1 hour, so it will be, then your number of vehicles will be called as volume. Okay, then there is another term which is flow rate or rate of flow. So flow, number of vehicles taken for less than 1 hour. And how do we make it into rate of flow or flow rate? You take that number and convert it into an equivalent hourly rate. Equivalent hourly rate. So the actual time of recording was less than 1 hour, but the value is converted into per hour rate. Okay. So for example, you went to the highway, you took took the flow for 15 minutes, you recorded 400 vehicles. So 400 vehicles in 15 minutes. This 400 means flow. Now what will be a flow rate or rate of flow? 400 in 15 minutes. So in half an hour, 800 vehicles. In 45 minutes, 1200 vehicles. In 1 hour, 1600 vehicles. So this 1600 will be called as rate of flow. Okay. Let me give you another example. And this is what you will be required to do at the end, not now, at the end. You go to the field and you will collect volume for, or you will count number of vehicles for 1 hour. Okay. And you will count within 1 hour for 15 minutes interval. So you will have 4 values. Okay. So each value is flow because each value is for 15 minutes. Then if you take the summation of the 4 values for the 15 minutes interval, there are 4 values. You combine them, you will get 1 hour, right? 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 4 times means 1 hour. So you take the summation of these 4 values, you will get volume. Now you take one of these values, one. So that one value was for 15 minutes. And then you multiply by 4. So you are converting that value into a per hour rate. So that will be called as flow rate. Okay. So flow rate is something which you calculate using flow, and volume is something which you get it directly from the field. So when you take the summation, that is the actual number of vehicles which passed in 1 hour. Okay, so we will not call it flow rate, we will call it volume. But you take one value, multiply by 4, that is not the actual value. This is something which you are calculating for 1 hour, so we will call it flow rate. Okay. We will do an example inshallah in the next class which will make it more clear. So let us talk about daily volume which is taken for one day. Now, what is the importance of daily volume? Daily volume is used for forecasting, prediction, future planning. That is the main use of daily volume. So if I ask you, give me the volume after 20 years or 15 years, you will give me daily volume, not hourly volume. Okay, daily volume again means volume taken for full day, per day. Even for the documentation of the past trends, because this is also considered part of planning and this is also considered part of future prediction. If you don't know the past trend, how can you calculate future? So if I give you volume for 5 years or 10 years, I will give you daily volume so that you can see the past trend and you can forecast future. Okay, daily volume is taken as a combined value for both directions. So daily volume is not given for each direction, it is always summation of both directions. So you have 3000 vehicles in one direction, 5,000 in the other direction. So daily volume will be 8,000. Daily volume will always be given as a combined value for both directions. So you take the values from both directions for the whole day and you add them for getting the final daily volume. Okay, daily volume is not given for each direction. That is the standard. Okay. Now, as I said earlier, traffic stream keeps on changing with respect to its characteristic. So each day of the week and each day of the year will give you a different value. So which daily volume I am talking about? Daily volume of Sunday, Monday, of January, of February, what? So we take daily volume for multiple days and then we do the average. Okay, and that average is used for finding out the trend, for future prediction and for everything else. Okay, so the average of daily volume can be taken in 4 different ways. There are 4 different ways to calculate the average of daily volume. Okay, so these are given by different names here. You can see average annual daily traffic, average annual weekday traffic, average daily traffic, and average weekday traffic. So these are 4 different ways or 4 different types of averages of daily volumes. Okay, let us start with average annual daily traffic. So to calculate average annual daily traffic, you take the daily volume for each day continuously for 365 days of the year. 365 days of the year, or if it's a leap year where February is 29 days, then it will be 366 days of the year. Okay, a clarification which will help you in the other problems and other chapters as well. When I say 365 days of the year or 60 minutes of the hour or 7 days of the week, whatever time period I'm using, it does not specify any starting point or end point. You can start from any point, but you just have to complete the period. So if I am talking about 1 year, I can start from today. So today is 1st October. So I should finish when? 30 September. This will be counted as 1 year. I don't have to wait for the 1st of January. This is what I'm saying. Similarly, if you want to find out the volume for 1 hour, you can start your hour 20 minutes past 10 as well. You don't have to wait for 11 a.m. You can start your hour at 20 minutes past 10 and then you will finish when? 20 minutes past 11. Similarly, for week, you can start on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever day, and then you will end on when you complete the 7 days. So 1 week is 7 days. So you complete 7 days. Whenever you complete 7 days, that is your week. Okay. So so that's why they are mentioning 365 days or 366 days. They are not saying start from 1st January and end 31st December. No, start from anywhere. Just complete it till the next year. Complete the 365 days or 366 days till the next year. Okay. And so you take these 365 or 366 days values and then you do the average. Okay, so you take the volume for the whole year, and then you do the average over 365 days or 366 days, whatever type of year you have. Okay. So that will give you average annual daily traffic. Now you come to average annual weekday traffic. So you can see the difference here. Here we were saying average annual daily traffic, AADT. Here we are saying average annual weekday traffic. So what is the difference between them? Here daily, here weekday. So this was for all the days, and this is only for the weekdays. What are the weekdays? Working days. So if you are in America or in Pakistan, the working days will be Monday to Friday. In Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, other Gulf countries, maybe it will be Sunday to Thursday. So again, you will take traffic for the whole year, but during the year you will exclude weekends. So you will not work on weekends. Okay, you will have a normal life. So again, you will start, if you are starting today, start from 1st of October and at 30 this September, but from 1st of October till 30 September only take values on weekdays. That's it. If it's a weekend, we don't take the value. Okay. So normally in a year we have 260 weekdays. So you will have the volume for all the weekdays divided by normally 260. Okay, it can be 261 or 259 in some cases, but normally 260. And then we have average daily traffic. If you compare it to the first one, what I'm changing, you see, this annual has gone out now. So it's only average daily traffic. So again, it's daily traffic taken for all days, but your total time period was less than 1 year. So it can be a month, it can be 2 or 3 months, it can be 1 week. Okay. So if you are taking 24 hours value, 1 day values for a period of less than 1 year, then you do the average. You cannot call it ADT, you call it ADT. Okay. And then we have average weekday traffic. Again, you see these are all the days and these are only weekdays. Okay. So you take volume for only the weekdays, but for a period of less than 1 year. Okay. So for example, you start from today. So today is Thursday. So Friday, Saturday, you will not take values. And then you take values on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So you took it for 1 week, but your week only had 5 weekdays. So this will be an average of 5 values. Okay. So this is the average weekday traffic. Let us look at an example. The example is completely solved in the book. Okay, I was supposed to have the values here, but I forgot to put the values here. So we will so the good thing is we will solve some values. Okay, it will increase your understanding. So in this example, at a station they have taken the values for the whole year. Which values they have taken? So you can see in the column 1, all the months are there. So they actually started from 1st of January and ended at 31st December. Okay, so they are going by the calendar year. Okay, second column, they are giving me how many weekdays they counted in each month. So they, like, you just open the calendar and you can count how many Mondays you have, how many Tuesdays you have, and so on. So they counted for each month of this year where the data was taken, the number of weekdays. Okay, and then the total number of days, again that's in the calendar. Okay, so January has 31 days, February has 28 days, and so on. Okay, so there is no counting here. Just some of you may already remember how many days are there in the month. Okay, then we have a total monthly volume. Total means volume. So this is the volume, right? 425,000. So this is the volume for how many days? 31 days. So this is total. This is 410,000 for how many days? 28 days for February. So this is what we mean by total for all days. And then we have total weekday volume. Okay, so this is 208,000 volume for how many days? 22 days. And which days are these? These are the weekdays. Okay, so what did I exclude? If I was doing this in Bahrain, I must have excluded Fridays and Saturdays from my count. So this is 208,000 for all the Sundays and Mondays and Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays. Okay, so these are the weekdays. Okay, so this is the volume for 22 days of January. This 220,000 is for 20 days of February and so on. Okay, now let us calculate the things which we have just defined: AADT, AAWT, ADT, and AWT. So AADT and AAWT are annual values, and this is data for 1 year. So these values will be 1. I will have 1 AADT for this whole data set and 1 AADT for this whole data set. Okay. Fortunately for me, they have already given me the summation of each column. Okay. I already know there are 365 days in a year. Number of weekdays they have already counted 260. This is a summation of all the weekdays. Total volume in the whole year. See, 555,445,000. Total volume in only the weekdays 2583,000. Okay, so if I want to calculate AADT, I will take total volume upon total number of days. Okay, so now you have to help me with the calculation here. So AADT will be 5445000 divided by 365. How much is it? Yeah, and for the case of volume, you can round off. Okay, so instead of saying 14,917.8 vehicles, you can round off to the nearest number, 14,918. So AADT is 14,918 vehicles. Okay, AAWT, see here, total traffic of the weekdays 2583,000, total weekdays 260. Don't do like this, Ali Muhammad. Don't round off to the power, because you don't know then after Okay, Elizabeth, very good. Just for the sake of other people, I will just write down 2583 divided by 260. Okay, so this comes out to be 9,935 vehicles per day. Okay, now before we go to ADT and AWT, let me highlight something here. You see, when I was taking average for all the days, 14,900 something. When I am taking average for the weekdays only, is 9,900. So you see the difference? Obviously, average for all days will not be equal to average of the weekdays. There will be some difference. But you can see the difference in this case is 5,000 vehicles per day, which is very large. Okay, which is very large. So there is a difference of 5,000 vehicles per day in the average traffic of the whole week and the average traffic of the weekdays. And weekdays is lower. The traffic on the weekdays is lower. AWT is lower than the whole week. So where are these 5,000 extra vehicles coming? When are they coming? They are coming on the weekends. Okay, and this is something which you may not have on many locations in your city. On most of the locations, most of the highways, weekday traffic is higher. AAWT is higher than AADT. Okay, so this data must have been taken on a location which is more crowded, it has more demand, or it has peak hours or peak traffic on the weekends, which is not usual. This is unusual. Okay, so for this location, in most of the cases, we take AAWT for design and forecasting, and this is fine. In most of the locations, you must know, in most of the locations in Bahrain or in any other country, weekday traffic is higher. People are going to school, people are going to offices, people are going to universities. They are going to for different works and construction and so on and so forth. So weekend traffic is usually lower, but on few locations this will not be true, and those locations can be near a beach, near a farmhouse, near a location which is recreational, okay, which is used for fun and entertainment, okay, and so on and so forth. So for the purpose of this highway, whoever is doing forecasting and planning for this highway, he should consider either AADT or he should consider average volume on weekends. This will be the true estimate or a more reasonable estimate for this highway. Okay, so this gives you why we have different types of averages. Okay, because in some cases one type of average may not be applicable. In some other cases, for example, if I'm designing a road for educational area, okay, so obviously weekday traffic is higher and weekend traffic is very low. Okay, or if you are designing for diplomatic area, so obviously weekday traffic will be higher. So for that area, AAWT is fine. Okay, but if you are designing a highway which goes through the Lake Beach, then obviously AAWT will not work. Either take AADT or better take average traffic for the weekends separately. Okay, so you already have total traffic, you have traffic on the weekdays. You can do you can subtract it and find out average traffic on the weekend. Okay, so not the average, the total traffic on the weekend, and then you can do the average. Okay, so this is why we have different types of averages. Now ADT and AWT, I told you this is for a period less than 1 year. So what period less than 1 year we have? We have 1 month. So if you talk about period less than 1 year, I have the values for each month. So for each month we can calculate ADT and AWT. Now in this class we will only calculate for January and February. For the remaining values you can have a look in the book or you can calculate yourself. Okay, so for January, ADT for January, total volume of January upon total number of days in January. So it will be total volume in January is 425,000 divided by number of days in January, which is 31. So how much will be the ADT in January? For February as well, yeah, 30,710. Okay, good. So ADT in February will be 410,000 total traffic of February divided by 28 days of February. Okay, so this will be for February. Okay. Okay, good. Then for AWT, I will take this column 5 now, and I will divide with the number of days in column 2, number of weekdays. Okay, total traffic of the weekday upon total number of weekdays. So AWT for January will be 208,000 divided by 22 weekdays, and AWT for February will be 220,000 divided by number of weekdays. Okay, so this one is for January, yeah, and for February. Yeah, for February it is how much? 11,000. Okay, good. Okay, so you can calculate the remaining value. So ADT and AWT can be for each month of the year or whatever time period, for whatever time period the values are given to you. Okay, if you have any questions you can ask them, otherwise I'm moving for the attendance. Okay, there was one question asked in the previous section about projects. So let me tell you, for the term project, for this submission, for the first submission, you will be just taking flow and some speed values. Why you are doing that? You are doing that for the purpose of trial run, because 1 year ago people used to take the location and then when they go for actual data collection, there was some problem. So if you had a problem at that time, then it is very difficult to change the location. Okay, and you don't have much time to get a new location and do the data collection. So this has given you, I have given you for this submission a sort of a pilot study. So you go there, you collect data, there's no restriction of time. Okay, so just you can see if you have to, when you have to collect the data later on for your project, the full-fledged data. This is a part of your data. The full-fledged data, you can add this one in the full-fledged data as well. But the when you are doing it for extended time, you already know where you have to stand. Will you have any problem of safety? Will you have any problem with the police? So this is to make sure you don't have these things. So if you have any problem, you are having any problem on your selected location, you can change it right now before you start or before you come close to the close of your project, the end of your project. Okay. Okay, Elizabeth is here. Nadine is here. Ibrahim. So I'm just marking the attendance for people who are
Here.
Okay. Fatma Abbas.
Yes, Doctor.
Okay. Zainab Abdul Hadi. Okay. Ali Abdul Hussain, okay, he's here. Ali Abdullah. Okay. Hakima Abdullah. Okay. Mariam Abdullah, okay, fine, she was there. Latifa Abdullah. Okay. Zainab Ahmad. Okay. Abdullah Ali, okay, he was the one talk told me about the mic. Isra Ali, okay, she was replying. Amal Fankhur. People who are already solving it, so I just mark them present. Okay, they are here. Amal Fankhur. Zahra Hassan.
Yes, Doctor.
Okay.
Yes.
Abdurrahman Haji. Okay. Zahra Khalid. Okay. Zainab Mansoor. Hamad Muhammad. Okay. Muhammad Osama, I think. Okay. Nujood Muhammad. Okay. Muhammad Noman. Abdullah Muhyiddin. Okay. Ala Mustafa. Majd Mustafa. Ali Noman. Okay. Amna Rafiq. Okay. Dua Salman. Okay. Abu Bakr Tahir. Okay, and Ali Yusuf was here. Okay, I just call out the absentees. Amal Fankhur. And that's it. Amal Fankhur and Majd Mustafa. Section 1, okay. People from section 1. I'm moving to section 1. Sara Ahmed. Okay, anyone else from section 1? Okay, Amal Fankhur is here. Okay, Amal, I will mark you as present. Anyone from section 1? Anyone else from section 1? Amal, you are in section 2, okay? Just keep it in mind. 2. Okay, anyone else? Okay, I'll see you guys on Sunday, inshallah. Have a nice weekend. Assalamu alaikum.